Honestly, truly, I have to stop taking such long breaks. And I am so sorry that I have to apologize again for being gone for so long. But once again, we're back. Whoa. Greetings, good day, and welcome. For those of you who are new here, I'm Deanna. On this channel, we talk about all things project management, nonprofit management, grants, development, all that good stuff. But for today, in case you couldn't tell, we're answering a question from you guys. Quick shout out to Coach_Paris for today's questions. Hey girl, how you doing? What's up? Today, we're talking about two big things. One, whether being a project manager lets you actually have a life, because who wants to be working 24/7? And two, how to transition into project management, even if you're coming from entrepreneurship or an entirely different industry. So let's talk about it. First and foremost, let's dive into the reality of work-life balance in project management. So the first question, do you even have a life? The short answer is yes. But it wasn't always like that. When I first started really getting into project management, and this is probably not something that just pertains to my field, but I felt really bad about saying no. I honestly felt like no couldn't be a part of my vocabulary. And saying that now and thinking back, I'm like, Deanna, what's wrong with you? That girl, no should have been my favorite word off rip. And on top of me feeling bad about saying no to people, I also was feeling really bad about what I was charging people. And my rates initially starting out in project management and grants management, they were significantly lower than what I should have been charging. Like, it's embarrassing. I don't even want to share with y'all the numbers. I just shouldn't have been using those numbers in the first place. I wasn't charging what I was worth. I was working much later than what I should have and starting the day much sooner than what I should have. I honestly was taking on too much and too willing to stretch myself thin. I can't believe I did that to myself. Past Deanna, I am so sorry. And I'm sure I'm not the only one guilty of this, but I did all of this thinking I had to prove myself, that I had to prove my worth, that if I did say no, that if I tried to take a step back from certain things, if I tried to lead in a way that I felt was right versus trying to people please and abide by other people's rules and regulations and structures and how they set things up, even if I saw a much more constructive or effective or efficient way to do something, I kept myself in the background a lot more than what I should have. And it was detrimental not just to myself, but to my team as well. The longer that I've been in this field and me growing as a project manager and as a consultant, I've come to realize, and I think I might have mentioned it in a few other videos, boundaries are not optional. One more time, boundaries are not optional. They are, without a doubt, 1000% necessary. And as I was able to build up confidence in my skill set, in the work that I was doing, and just in my work, I was able to build and sustain those boundaries. And also with trying to learn and convey building that work-life balance, I also have to remember that not all project management jobs are the same. When you are looking for new project management roles or a new space to walk into, I've seen how some spaces are really lax and they allow the project managers to build and to grow systems and ease their way into the team or the space that the project manager is being asked to become a part of. But then the flip side, some roles are intense, to say the least, especially if the job description for the project management role has key phrases like fast-paced or high growth environment, or if they're looking for somebody that wears many hats. If I see those exact phrases or anything in relation to that, I'm going to wave a red flag. And if I am applying to that job or like this contract or role or whatever the case may be, I already know it's probably going to be a little bit of a doozy. and that it might not contain the work-life balance that I'm looking for. When looking for that balance in a new project management role, here are a few quick tips. There are 2 questions I want you to make sure that you are asking during an interview. 1, what does a typical week look like for a person in this role? And 2, what happens when timelines slip? How does the team adjust? Those 2 questions will tell you literally everything that you need to know about the culture of that work environment. When asking those questions, pay attention to how your interviewer answers them. If they are hesitant, if they are giving very vague answers, or it doesn't seem like there is much structure or guidance for somebody that would be potentially stepping into this role, wave the red flag. Wave the red flag. As a project manager, and honestly in any role that you're going after, the team that you are potentially stepping into should know without a doubt what they expect of you. And if they don't have that clearly laid out, that just leaves room for them to keep adding to your plate. Even if your plate is too full, if they don't have the things laid out in concrete, that just makes your plate heavier and heavier and heavier. And don't forget, project managers exist in literally every industry. Nonprofits, techs, corporate, healthcare, you name it, it has a project manager. So because the industries vary, that also means that the structure of the job of a project manager in that industry at that particular company also varies. Now for me, I am speaking as a project manager and consultant that works in the nonprofit sector. There are some weeks where I do have to clock in a little bit earlier and I might have to clock out a little bit later, but then there are other weeks where I'm able to get my time back and I could finish up everything by lunchtime. Each day is a little bit different for me, but as I've been able to grow in this field and grow in this position, I've been able to take much more control of my time and structure my days how I need to. This has allowed me to really find a balance that doesn't leave me feeling burnt out, but it also doesn't make me lack or fall behind, or that I'm not getting enough work done. You feel me? So yes, overall, as a project manager, you absolutely can have a life. It's really just about knowing what project management role fits the life that you want for yourself and the type of industry that you want to enter into. Now, let's talk about transitioning from owning a business to becoming a project manager. And I promise you, the transition is not as crazy as you think it might be. If you've been doing things like hiring people, managing calendars and schedules, coordinating product launches, or offering services, you've been doing project management. The trick is you just haven't called it that yet. Keyword, yet. So let's connect the dots. Instead of saying hiring, say resource management. Instead of coordinating launches, we're going to say timeline and execution. Let's say you've been managing your vendors or other people that you conduct business with. We're going to call that stakeholder communications. If you spent time juggling multiple priorities, we're going to call that scope and risk management. You see what I'm doing here? It's all about taking what you already have as an entrepreneur and a business owner and translating that into how that would be successful in a project manager role. When you're talking to potential employers or when you're updating your resume, I don't want you to just say, I ran a business. I need you to say that you led cross-functional initiatives, oversaw timelines, managed budgets, and delivered results across multiple projects. It's literally the same work, you're just using different language. Also, I want to break this myth. You do not need a certification to get started. I've said it before, I'm gonna say it again. I don't have not one certification in project management, but I got the title though. If you are someone like me and you already have the education and experience under your belt and you are thinking about getting your certification, you might be able to step right into getting your PMP, or maybe not even getting your PMP, you probably could step right into a project manager role. And now, since we're talking about certifications, let's dive into when you should get certified and why. For anyone interested in project management, you probably know that the two big ones are PMP and CAPM. Now, the difference between the two is that with a CAPM, that's more entry level. This is great for anybody who does not have much experience and they want to break into the project management field. Now, on the flip side, the PMP is much more advanced. This does require you to have much more experience, but the recognition goes crazy. I mean, I feel like more people have heard of PMP versus the CAPM, so yeah. Now, even though these two options are available, do you need to be certified? Do you need to get these certifications?
Well, we're waiting.
As I said, no, but it depends on your situation and what you are trying to do. Now, if you were somebody starting from scratch, you don't have much experience, and you are new to this, not true to this, then certifications can be very, very helpful. To no surprise, having certifications can truly open up doors for you in project management roles, particularly if you are looking to step into the tech industry or if you want a government-related role. And also, if you've been applying to project management roles and you're not getting no callbacks, nobody taking the bait, you just feel like your resume is being looked over, then a certification could help you stand out tremendously. But I should be a prime example that certifications do not replace experience. You could have every letter, every certification, every validation, every diploma, degree, all the things behind your name. But if you do not have first-hand experience, a lot of places are gonna overlook you. As I said, I don't got no certifications. However, I do have plenty of years of experience leading projects, managing systems, creating systems and structures from scratch in order for myself and my team to work more effectively and efficiently. And I am able to translate those experiences and what I've grown and learned over the years into language that connects to a project management role. You feel me? If I was much earlier in my career and I knew that project management was something that I actually wanted to step into, then yes, absolutely, I would have gotten a PMP, CAPM, all that stuff. However, because I stepped into project management specifically after already cultivating the years of experience, I'm able to take that, translate it, and boom, project manager. My advice before you start the certification process, make sure to weigh the time, the cost, and the benefits. Getting certified is not a definite ticket for you to become a project manager. It just helps you to stand out more or to learn a lot of the skills that you may not have cultivated in the roles that you currently have. However, if you take a step back and you make a list and you see that the work that you have done or are currently doing align much more with project management than what you thought because you stopped and did that translation into a different language, you might not need a cert. Save yourself some time and some money. That's the best thing ever. Saving time and saving money. Girl. My final thoughts on this, Coach Paris, you said you have 10 years of experience under your belt. 10. That right there is real, tangible, relevant experience. You just gotta sit and, like I said, translate it. As a Black woman who had to start from scratch, I am telling you, you've already done a lot of the hard part and you have a lot more experience than what you're giving yourself credit for. As a business owner, you've led, you've managed, and you've executed. And all of that is what project managers do. But instead of doing it for your business, you're going to be doing it for another space. For anybody else watching this, if you're making a career pivot, if you've been feeling like imposter syndrome is taking over because your path doesn't look traditional, if you're not sure of even where to begin, I want you to start by owning what you've already done. Because I promise you, your experience is much more relevant and powerful than you're assuming it to be. By no means do you need to have it all figured out, but I do need you to take that first step. I know it's scary. I know it's weird. I know it's probably not going to look like anybody else's path, but it's not supposed to. So take your first step. Ooh, would you look at that? You made it to the end of this video, so thanks for watching.
Sometimes goodbyes are a bitch.
T-shirt idea. Goodbye stink.
As I always say, a lot of my videos are inspired by you guys, obviously. So if anybody has any questions or any topics that you would like me to dive deeper into, make sure to leave all of that in the comments below. If you are somebody trying to pivot into project management, make sure to subscribe and join me on this journey as we walk through the world of project management together. If you haven't done so already, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, bye y'all.